My plan was to return this clothes from day one. I tried to return it. They said no. This turned into a multiple year lawsuit by American Express, who have negative $50 billion in their account. Right? Let me repeat that because I want to make sure that you hear what I said. $50 billion negative.
The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. I decided I want to become a billionaire doing what I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. So first, I want to start off by giving a shout out to the Bamboo Project family. My goal is to see, is it really possible for someone like me to be worth $1 billion? That's the goal. The plan to get there is creating 1,000 millionaires, including myself. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms, right? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 350 videos on our channel. Dr. Sabi inspired cooking tutorials, we got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs, got it. Makeup, got it. Hair growth, got it. Real estate, got it. Basketball, got it. It's everything us. We post something on our story pretty much every day. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. The Bamboo Project is turning your life into a living, right? By making money off the things you do every single day. For us, that's our food project, the music project, the clothing project, the fitness project, the sports project, and the Bamboo Project Podcast, which you're listening to right now. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 66 of this story. All right, so for everyone new, we have 4 segments on this podcast. The first one is Life Update. That is a weekly update on what we went through last week to become billionaires. Then we have the episode Playback. It's a recap of last week's episode and the things I could have done better. Then we have Donivan's Question. That's just a question that I want to bring to you guys and see what your opinion is on it. And then the 4th segment of the day would be the topic that we have. So all video and audio timestamps will be in the description below. Today's date is... it is 9:46, June 21st. So now, it's actually a Monday, and everybody knows Tuesdays are for podcasts, but we're shooting today on a Monday. I'll explain that a little bit later. So if you guys are new to the show, we actually did something different. We're doing it over the last couple of weeks. I want people to be more aware of how they use their cell phones, and for people who have iPhones, you probably are aware of this. I don't know if they have this on Google or not, but I'm gonna have to get that because that's gonna just like put the bags on the garbage. I have cats and 2 baby kids. Those are my kittens, and they love bags. So, but as I was saying, so like I said, I don't know if they have this on Google. They probably do, but checking your screen time, right? So I like to start off the podcast by showing what my screen time was, seeing if I'm getting better at it. Also, I would implore other people to go and see what their screen time is, just so that you have an idea. Because the worst thing that you would have is a situation where you don't even have an idea of how much you use or are on your phone. Because now you're losing the game. If you don't know how much you're using your phone, you're losing. What's a bar? If you don't know how much you're using, you're losing. Oh, listen. Jay-Z over here, man. They call me Hove. H-O-V. Okay, let's see. So my screen time is... excuse me. Let's see what we got here. So, screen time... settings, and then I'm going to pull down to screen time. Yeah, I probably can't see. Yeah, people who are listening can't see me or see the recording. So right now, I'm down 7% from. Oh Lord, I'm not. I thought I was. It just adjusted. Okay, I'm up 10% from last week. I thought I was doing better. So yesterday, I was on my phone for 10 hours and 6 minutes. That is atrocious. That is terrible. I have a problem. I've already realized I have a problem, and I'm gonna tell a story about that one time, because I never said it here. I'm gonna bring this story up. Today it is 9:48, and I've been on my phone for 7 hours and 4 minutes. So I said I was gonna tell a story about my addiction to my phone, right? So I'm very self-aware of what I go through, of what my body is feeling, what I'm doing at the time, kind of when I put my head down, when I pick my phone up, just little things like that. I'm very aware of it. I noticed that as soon as I get bored, I pick my phone up. If I'm at the store and I get bored, I pick up my phone. If I'm waiting online, if I'm walking down the street, if I'm watching a show, commercial comes on, boom, I'm picking my phone up immediately. Now, I don't even have anything to do on my phone. I've already checked my Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, analytics. I checked everything. Check my bank account. I'll do that. Nothing's going to change every 12 seconds, but I'm going to check it regardless, right? So there was a time that I remember when this was when probably like 22, 23, right? And myself and my friend Hunter, we would do these like, you should call hiatuses from social media, right? We would delete the app for like 3 months at a time and just not use it. This is a couple of years ago, like 7, 8 years ago, right? So the reason we started doing this was because I know, well, multiple reasons, but for me, I remember that I was sitting in the house one day, right? And watching a TV show. And I remember just my body feeling anxious. And I just felt like my body was vibrating. And I had to pick up my phone. And I picked it up. And I looked at it. And I put it back down. And I'm like, that was interesting. And I'm watching the show. I picked it up. And I put it back down again. And I'm just like, I'm not even doing anything I'm just picking up to check Instagram, put it back down. And I started realizing like, I might have a problem. Like I feel like I actually have a problem, because when I don't have my phone, I feel as though I'm losing something or missing out on something, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is the same feeling that people who are on drugs have. I'm pretty sure that having an addiction feels like that, where you're like, I need to feel, I need to touch, I need to just let me just touch it real quick. I just want to get a little hit, just a little bit. I need a little dopamine hit. And that's how I feel. I feel like with my cell phone, I need to have that dopamine hit all the time. And this is why I said about being bored, because when I'm bored, I'm like, okay, I want to feel good. And I put good in quotations because it's not necessarily good feeling. It's like just having an orgasm or just having a quick hit of sugar, something that's not really healthy for you, but you want to keep having it. And social media is built to do that for you. So I check my phone constantly all the time for no reason. And like I said, I don't think people are aware of how often they check their phone. You even can check your phone for how many pickups you have. So I'd even check that. So you can on the iPhone, if you go to screen time in your settings, you can check to see how many times you just picked up your phone. So for me, let's see, my pickups today, I had 146 pickups today. That means I picked up my phone 146 times. That's crazy. That's insane. Like I said, just me picking it up, probably not even doing anything. I'll just pick. I just want to hold it. I just want to hold it in my hand. I just want to hold it. Okay, let me see. Oh, wait. Oh, did it vibrate? No, it didn't vibrate. Okay. Damn, somebody probably tweeted something funny. Let me check my phone. That was probably, nothing. Okay. Oh, my story. How many views I got on my story? Shit. Okay, I got 7, 9. Damn, I should have got 10. That's crazy. Oh, YouTube a new video went up. I gotta watch it, and that's how it's addicting. And if you could feel that, and that's like, for me, once I realize that I feel like that, I just try and find a solution for it. So listen, the first step obviously is admitting you have a problem. Okay, it's the 12-step program of addiction. And then once you admit you have a problem, hi, my name is DonivanGray, and I have a problem. It's between you say hi, Donovan.
Oh, hi, Donovan.
Okay, hi. So I'm addicted to my cell phone, and I just want to say, I don't know what the next steps are, but I know you gotta say and admit you have a problem. So, and then now that I admit it, now I have to go and check it and see, okay, find out about my problem. So there's that.
How much you were on your phone today?
7 hours and 46 minutes, basically 8 hours. I spent 1 hour and 38 minutes on Instagram, 1 hour and 15 minutes on YouTube, 1 hour and 4 minutes on Safari, 47 minutes on text messages, 41 minutes on books, 34 minutes on Twitter, and 60 minutes on Google. 7 hours. 7 hours and 7 minutes right now. So, listen, I don't have a problem. So, anyway, like I said, this is a new segment, kind of. I just want to bring it out there for you guys. The agenda for today is, I've been trying to get to this topic for a while now. It's insecure people are in charge of everything. Okay, so that's the topic for the day. First segment is life update. Now, something I've been imploring myself over the last couple of days, couple of weeks. It's not a couple of weeks. That's something I've just been thinking about, right? It's a quote. It's a water. I need some water. It's a new quote for myself, right? The quote is "Be great." That's it. It's very simple. Very simple, and it's not complicated. Shout out to Giannis. That's kind of what got me to think about this. It's just be great. Any problem you run into, just think about it and say, okay, am I being great right now? And be great. That's it. And I just think that those two words put together, for anybody who's having something that you're trying to deal with, something they're going through, something they're trying to overcome, they feel like they're being lazy, you feel like anything, just say, hey, am I being great right now? Is what I'm doing going to cause me to be great? If not, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's that simple. And honestly, another place this came from too, right? I have not listened to a podcast in a very long time. Like, it has to be months, probably. I would say I listened to like a whole podcast. And the other day I listened to, I can't even say it was a Joe Rogan podcast. I thought it was. I don't think it was. So, because it was on YouTube, right? I think they interviewed him at his studio, which is why they were able to post that video on YouTube. And they were just pretty much talking to him about his journey to being the king of podcasting and how he feels like he said he's gotten more famous being on Spotify. He's now more of a household name. And he was also talking about his approach to podcasting. And one thing that he said was that he just, in my own words, wants to be great. And his way of being great is just focusing on becoming better at what he does. He's not competing with nobody else. He's not, something else he said he's not doing. I forgot what it was. The main thing he was saying is like, look, I listen to the podcast and I just try to figure out how can I make this conversation comfortable to anybody listening? How can somebody listen to this podcast and listen to me talk to somebody else go, wow, I really enjoy listening to that. I enjoyed, they sounded very comfortable. Nobody was trying to talk over anybody else. Okay, I enjoyed that. And that's how he got to being where he was. His podcast started out at about 3 hours. There's probably still 3 hour episodes now that he has on there. And he was saying that people were telling him, listen, Joe, this is like 10, 12 years ago. You have to edit your podcast. It's too long. Nobody wants to hear a 3 hour podcast. He was like, fuck off. You know, white people voice. Fuck off, dude. And he was like, I'm going to do it anyways. And he started doing it and people would just kept tuning in to watch it. And he said at the beginning, he didn't know that anybody was watching his show, the podcast. So he went out to do his stand-up comedy. He made a joke like, you know, he was kind of leading into his joke. And he said, hey, has anybody here watched the podcast? And it was kind of like a throwaway line that he was going to use. And everybody started, yo, oh my God, the podcast. Right? And he's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like he didn't think that everybody that was watching, that was at the stand-up show, watched the podcast. So that's for him. And I think that a lot of people who are great, and they say this, but I got to talk to them to really find out. They really say that you focus so much on one thing and you tune out everything else, and that's how you become great at what you're doing. But it's hard for me to say that about him because I feel like he's great at martial arts. He's great at UFC commentating. He's great at podcasting. I think he does bow and arrow. He does sauna and yoga. So it's like, I think that's what it is. Right. I think it goes back to being great. You have to be great. And he chose things that he wants to do, right, for himself. And he goes, all I'm going to do is try and be better at this thing than I was yesterday. That's it. Whether it's yoga, whether it's UFC, whether it's podcasting, it's just about yesterday. You know what? I podcasted for like 12 minutes. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and do 12 and a half. I'm trying to do 14 minutes tomorrow. I'm going to see if we could do 15. And you just keep doing that. You just keep doing that. You keep doing that. It's similar to a book that Melissa read called The Square something. The Innovation Stack. It's similar to that. It's a book about how the company Square that owns Cash App was built. And you want to give a little bit, just a run through of how, because I forgot the specific of it, of what the Innovation Stack is.
The Innovation Stack is basically like, you can kind of copy at first, and then whenever you come across a problem, you solve your own specific problem. And as long as you keep solving your individual problems that you have, it'll lead you to like your own lane.
Listen, I always say, be great. Be great. Now, one way that we on the Bamboo Project have, internalized this quote of being great is we have bought an investment property, which to me is still crazy. Like, there are certain times I think about it and I'm just like, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, we were like struggling, trying to figure out life in a sense, kind of just like, damn, we don't really have any money. We don't really have anything. We still kind of in the beginning of the race, more or less. We have information, but we don't actually have any of the things that I think people put on their resume. We didn't really have those things. So that's what it was. On paper, we weren't very good. But if you talk to us, the eye test, we passed the eye test. It's just that if you go down our list of, accomplishments or things that we're doing, it's like, it's whatever. But the fact that we were able to turn that into buying a house is just insane. So the reason why we went out and bought this house was because it's so crazy because we weren't even planning to buy a house. That was not in the plan at all. Like, the plan was to go to Atlanta and have Airbnbs. The plan was, all right, we have enough money. We're going to go. We had like $10,000, we had like $20,000. We're like, all right, we're going to take this money, go to Atlanta, and then we're going to figure out how to get Airbnbs without having any property. That was a plan. Somehow that turned into, okay, we're going to buy a house, and then that'll be our first Airbnb. And then we're going to refinance, take cash out of that to then go and use that to buy another property or Airbnbs in Atlanta. So when we went down there before, right, they were saying that one of the things that we need, or requirements that we need, was something called a paydeck score. For people who don't know, that is your FICO score for your business, right? That's what I believe Dun & Bradstreet or DMB, if you have a DUNS number, that's what they report your number as, right? And one of the buildings said that we need to have an 80 to get into the building. That's just one of the requirements, right? Mind you, we have nothing at that point. So we're like, all right, we have to figure out how can we establish these things that we need to get into these buildings. We need to have the money, which we already have. We needed the history. That was the other thing, history, and we needed income to prove that we can afford to live in these buildings. We have history. No, we have income now. Technically, we have the house in Atlanta, and we had the money, right? So now, if we can get our credit up, which is what AJ is for, that would be our history. Now, last week, I talked about how we almost bought a car. Crazy thing. Moving really fast, breaking things. I think that's a Facebook motto, I believe it was. Just move fast and break things. And we just, all right, we're going to buy a car. We're just going to buy a car out of nowhere, right? And Melissa has 12 credit cards, right? And I'm over here sitting here like, damn, I want to get a credit card. Like, I would like to have a credit card. Like, I need to get me a credit card. That's what I gotta do. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna apply for a credit card. But I didn't want to apply for one because my credit was what we were banking on to kind of move things forward. So I'm like, if I get a credit card, will that affect us negatively? Right? I'm like, damn. And I want to get a business credit card, but the reason I did not get one is because AJ has said that he's going to pull us down, which he didn't do it for a while, but we've been in contact with him over the last week or two. So if things are getting better, but I've learned that I have to take things into my own hands. So a while ago, I got a Amex card, right? Gold Amex card. They sent me two, actually. They sent DonivanGray one, and then they sent the Bamboo Project gold card, right? And I'm like, oh, I should apply for these, right? And I keep asking around. I'm asking, like, babe, what do you think about? Should I apply? Should I, like, it was a welcome offer. They were like, hell, you're pre-approved. But y'all know how it is, right? Yeah, get these cards. It'd be like, hey, DonivanGray, we'd love you to have a card with us. We're going to give you $25,000 credit limit. You've already been pre-approved for it. Don't even call us. The card is in the bag. You good. All you got to do is just open the box or the envelope and you'll be approved, right? Open the envelope and be like, you are not approved. And you like, fam, y'all told me, like, well, we thought you opened it. It took too long for you to open. You should have opened it faster. And I'd be like, bruh, now, it's been so many times when I was younger, I haven't done it recently, where I would see these envelopes and they'd be saying big ass letters, you are, all also is approved. or qualified. They think they slick. It'd be like, you are pre whatever. If you pre anything me, that means I should get whatever I'm applying for. Don't pre nothing. Don't pre-approve, pre-qualify, pre-assume nothing. If I get an envelope from you and I didn't ask for it, it should already be a done deal. So I'm already very wary about these credit cards, about applying for them, right? And this is a funny story. I probably have told this, but it's an Amex card, which I've had before. I've had my own Gold Amex card back in the day when I was, out here hustling and bustling in the streets. I'm gonna give you guys a little short story about that. So I had a business. It was called Ambitions Clothing, which is still kind of out there or around, right? So I'm a very frugal individual. I don't really spend money like that, especially not on clothes. I don't think it sounds. I'm a very frugal individual. I am a frugal individual, especially when it comes to clothing, right? So,
you're telling that story.
But I am a businessman, right? So I look at the landscape of society and I go, what do people like? People like to see other people that have money. People love seeing that. Oh my God, you got money. Oh my God, look what you could buy. Oh, you spent all this money on it. Oh my God, you're rich, right? So shout out to my dad who had got me a credit card from when I was like 4 years, but not 4. I was like 4. Another funny story, a funny story about credit cards. My dad had got me a credit card and I was an authorized user on his card, right? And he would say, you know what, Niles, from middle name, he goes, look, you have a $200 limit on your card, right? So, I'm flexing. Like I was in the 3rd grade with a credit card. I'm like, I got a credit card. Like, come on. Like, who are y'all? Like, y'all 3rd grade with no credit cards? Like, y'all poor. Like, don't talk to me. Like, don't even sit next to me. Y'all poor. So then, right, I got a little older and obviously I didn't pay my credit card off because I'm like fucking in the 3rd grade. My dad would pay it off for me. He just let me know, listen, now, if you spend the money, you got to pay me back the money. So I only had like a $200 limit. If I would work, pick up weeds from the ground, and then he would give me the money for it, and then I'll give the money back to him because technically it's still his money. And then I felt like I was big dog, right? I started getting some pussy. You feel me? I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm really flexing, right? So I met this girl. Shout out to her. Now, she had some huge breasts, right? Now you probably ask, why were you telling me this, right? Her breasts are humongous. I'm talking about like, they gotta be like D. What comes after E? H? F? F? Is it F big?
Tell your story.
I think the F. I'm pretty sure it's an F, right? They're just huge, especially for that age, right? So I decided, what I was gonna do? I'm like, you know what? I'm Donovan, D Mac, D Money. Like, that's what I do. It is what it is. It'd be like that. So I take her to Macy's, I think it was, right? And I'm like, yo, you want something? Give it something. Give whatever. Listen, you got it. What you need? I got you, right? She's like, oh, I need some bras. I'm like, you need bras? I'm like, listen, go get you them $15, $12 bras. I'm like, come on, how much a bra cost, right? Fam, my ass went to this Macy's. I don't know if it was Macy's, some other store, right? I think the bras were like $85 to $100 a bra, and I'm like, I'm sitting at the register looking at her, right? Mind you, she had like. She had a couple of bras, and I had noticed the price before we got to the line. I was just like, damn. I'm looking like rubbing my lips like, how are we gonna pay for this, right? Because I'm thinking about I thought I was gonna splurge and get her like 10, 15 bras. That's what I thought. I'm about to be over the guy that just bought a bunch of bras for the girl that he's having sex with. And it ain't really go like that. She ended up getting, I think she got 2 bras. And I think she got 2 bras because her mom had called her and told her, don't spend all my money. And I didn't have the money. So thank God for her mom to call her, because I was really about to go out here and spend all this money on bras. If y'all dating big breasted girls, remember, bras are not cheap. Now, that was just a sub story. I had a business and I had a clothing business. My plan and my goal at that time was to mix my clothing with their clothing. So by brand association, it brings the value of my clothing up. It's almost like comps for real estate. So I thought if you were to see me wearing a bunch of, let's say, Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Balenciaga, I don't know, whatever was popular. I'm not into clothes like that. Maybe some off-white, right? But then you see like maybe, I don't know, a belt buckle, pants, shirt, something that's like, wow, what is that? He has on all this expensive clothing and he has that shirt on. What's that shirt from, right? That's what I thought. That was my plan. If I throw my clothes inside of the mix of a bunch of expensive clothes, it would make my clothes more expensive. So I decided I was gonna go to Prada, right? I went in there with my mans. I'm like, yo, bro, we gonna go in here, we gonna buy whatever we want, and we gonna walk out of here like we flexing, right? So we go in the store. My first time, I don't even go any kind of stores like back in the day, and it actually taught me that. Cause I was looking for monogram stuff with the logo all over the back and the front and the side. I'm thinking I'm about to walk out here looking like a billboard. You can't find nothing in those. If you go into the stores, you will be hard pressed to find something that has the logos all over it, right? So anybody that I see with logos all over it probably didn't buy it from the store. It might be fake, one, or they got it from some like off-brand something else in the back of the wholesale store, some shit like that, right? So me and my man's buy the clothes, and like I said, my first time ever buying clothes that are this expensive. We left that store and we spent, bruh, $11,000. I think it's $11,000 we spent there, right? And yeah, how did I afford that? I had just got approved for a Gold American Express card, and I thought that they said there's no limit on it. I said it's no fucking limit. There's no limit. Oh fuck! I didn't know I didn't know that. I didn't know it was the real thing. I'm thinking I'm rich. Mind you, first mistake was I wore the clothes out the store. Me and my mans wore the clothes out the store. Second mistake, I got food with the clothes on. So mind you, I got a hot dog, had a glizzy gobbler. That's what I was. And I'm gobbling the glizzy and I get ketchup on my new multiple $1,000 jacket, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So now I got to clean that. I tried to return the clothes because that's what I do. I listen, my plan was to return this clothes from day one. I tried to return it. They said no. This turned into a multiple year lawsuit by American Express. Multiple, like 4, 5, 6 years going back and forth. They trying to get their money. I'm trying not to pay them. A lot of stuff happens in between. They're not getting money from me. We end up settling for like $4,000, something like that, right? So I thought like, yo, I'm never, ever, ever going to be allowed to be at an Amex store. Like, they will never send me a card again. Until recently. They sent me 2 cards. And I pre-approved with the welcome offer for 80,000 rewards points if I spend $10,000 in 3 months. They sent that. And they've been sitting there. I decided, you know what? I'm feeling really good. A lot of things are aligning recently. So I think, you know what? I'm about to apply. We got approved for an American Express business credit card. Right now, people who don't know why this is a big deal. It allows us to build credit for the company, which means it allows us to be able to leverage or borrow a lot of money to be able to make deals, right? That means we could buy property with the deals. That means that we could put up money for wholesaling with the deals. That means we could pay for properties with Airbnb units with the deal. We got to pay rent, and we could pay for furniture. And if something or an emergency comes up, we have money to pay for that. These are the things I'm talking about. So y'all are seeing the little baby steps. You're seeing the bamboo project tree. You're seeing the roots go in the ground. And it's going to be a day, or I don't know when it's going to be, where everything just click. And we're going to come on here and be like, yeah, we just went out and purchased 25 units just because. And I think that'd be so crazy. We're going to come on here one day and be like, yeah, last month we made like $95,000. We trying to get more units. And then we're going to have rich problems. We're going to have problems like, fuck, I wanted to get the 25 unit in the other building. They only wanted to give me 17. Now this other one, but I got about 40 over here, but that building is trash. I don't want 40 in a trash building. Listen, I just, it's coming. But these are the steps to get there. I just want to say these are the steps to get there, right? So I said earlier about being great. I said that things are aligning. For whatever reason, once I adopted this be great mentality, things started just flowing. And that is one of the reasons why I applied for this credit card. Everything just seemed to just fall into place at the right time. And I'm like, let me just test my luck and see what happens with this card. Because I've been declined, and they've been telling me, no, you can't have the card even if they pre-approved me. So I'm like, you know what? I keep seeing 1234 everywhere. We're getting, subscribers are growing. Views are going up, right? Everything is just going well. Here's the one thing for me that kind of threw me crazy, right? Do you remember on the train, there's a girl next to you and she dropped her book. You remember that? No? She dropped something. You don't remember what she dropped? Okay.
Today.
On the train. Mm-hmm. On the way there. Mm-hmm. So we were on the E train, right? So this was to me, like I said, why I think one of the things to me that's like something is happening here. So I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast, right? He talked about a book. He was like, listen, this book is really powerful. I think it's a really good book. Helps you to become a better person, right? I'm like, all right, cool. So I go out and purchase the book, right? And then as I'm on the train, I'm reading a book on wholesaling, right? I'm reading a book on wholesaling. It's a trash book, by the way. The book is terrible. It's like the basic of wholesaling, like, oh, find a property, then find a buyer, then sign it. Oh my God, you're rich. And it was like something like that, right? So I'm like, this is some bullshit. Mind you, the book was 100 pages, 114 pages, right? That's not even the worst part about it. I also bought a book for credit to see what I would get. That book was 27 pages. I don't even know if I read all the pages. It was like, this is only 27 pages of book. So I'm on it like, this book is fucking trash. Why did that girl drop the 4 Agreements, which is the same book I just bought, on whatever day that was? And I saw, because the cover has like a cross.
And it has the 4 different images.
Right? And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are the odds? Because mind you, we never leave the house. Yeah. We never leave the house to go outside. We leave the house to go outside. Not only do we leave the house to go outside, we catch this train, this E train, right? Not only when she was on the E train, it was the E train. Not only were we on the E train, she drops this book, and I'm like, that's a sign to me. I'm like, I have to read this book, and I'm like, all right. Everything we're doing, and mind you, everything up to that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I stuck to everything I said I was gonna do, and then that came. I'm like, all right, bet. I know the times when I see them. I'm not stupid. I remember. If Tim is watching this, shout out to Tim or Hunter. Y'all know how the game goes with the universe and laws of attraction. The funniest shit happens. If you in tune with it, you know. Once you say you want something and you decide to go in the opposite direction of what you say you want, what you verbalize that you do want, if you say, you know what, I want to be bigger, I want to be stronger, right? And then you don't go to the gym, and then you eat bad food, and then you don't have a good sleeping regimen, bad shit will happen to you randomly. Like your camera will break. You're gonna find out that you sprained your ankle. You can't go to the gym at all. You're gonna find that you lost your credit card. Somebody used all your money to buy shit that you can't get the money back for. And this happens. We saw it happen mostly with bikes. So we'd be like, hey, yo, Tim, you bought that? You got the e-bike yet? He'd be like, nah, bro, I ain't get it yet. All right, bro. You know how that go, bro. I don't know what you're playing. You're supposed to be saving for that e-bike. I'm gonna get it, bro. I'm gonna get it. What happens? Bike gets stolen. I'm like, bro, you know what you're supposed to do, bro. I'm working on it. Okay, bro. Bike gets stolen again. Bike break down. Bike stop working. I'm like, fam, this is, and it wasn't just happening to him. It would happen to me. It would happen to him. It happened to Hunter. We would know, like, ah, shit, bro. You say you're gonna do this. You like, and here's a small example of it, right? It could be something small, like, okay, when I get home today, I'm gonna research bikes. I'm gonna do that, right? You go home, you don't do it, wake up in the morning, you find out that your wheel has a flat, and he just like, what the fuck? And I'm telling you, it happens in that way. So in the opposite direction, once you start seeing the positive thing, once you start doing those things, it just becomes like an opening flow of water, energy. The doors just start becoming easier to get through, and you're like, damn, this is making a lot of sense. So for me, like I said, we never leave the house. We never go outside. We don't do any of those things. But I was like, you know what? I want to do an escape room. I want to do an escape room. That's what I want to do. So we went to an escape room. We got to the escape room. On the way to the escape room, this book situation came up. Mind you, this is after I watched the podcast of Joe Rogan and got the book. I haven't read a book. Bro, I started reading a book earlier this year about storytelling. I haven't finished that book. And I'm just like, I haven't really read that much. I need to start reading more. So I go, okay, just invest. Just do it. You spend $40, $50 on Papa John's, right? Easily. I could easily spend $40 on Papa John's. I could easily spend $45, $50 on breakfast. And I'm like, so I'm looking at the book, right? The shit like $12. I'm like, Damn, that shit $12. I'm like, fuck. I just tapped it mad fast. I'm like, Donovan, you be spending mad money on fucking food, enough money on food, just buy the book. And I'm like, it's $13. I think I bought like, I don't even know how many books I bought. I know one of the books I bought was like 12 pages. Listen, I am new to the books on Apple. I did not know that they were that suspicious. They be having 8-page books, 9-page books.
Just a suggestion. Mm-hmm. Amazon has a great book collection. Like, in terms of their reviews. No, they have an app called Goodreads on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So I like to find books from there and then purchase it on Apple. I don't actually look at the Apple.
That's what I'm gonna do. Because what I realized is that there's a new generation out here. Okay, this generation is called the Guru generation. It's I would say it's new in my opinion, right? The same people that have those courses have books on there, right? So these are like, I might write a book and put it on here. I'm reading one of the books, right? Why this book in the book has links to his course in the book of the wholesaling book. I'm scrolling the bottom of the page like, yeah, man, you can join my Facebook group right here. Just press this link. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I learned my lesson when I was trying to learn how to sew. I was looking for sewing books through Apple, like through their database. And the book that I got, it was like, this is how you measure around your body. And that was it. And it was like a 12 12 book. Yeah.
Fuck me up. I bought a book on business credit. That shit pissed me off. The shit was like, all right, what you want to do, Melissa? This shit was like, use Quill. Check your score on nav.com.
We experts at this point.
Bruh, it said open up a Google business page. Look, I'm reading this and I'm like, this is crazy. It's like, have you heard of Dun & Bradstreet? What you want to do is, I'm like, have I heard of Dun & Bradstreet? I'm like, you have not told me one thing on here. But I know if that book was free or not, so I can't say for sure if I remember. But I just know that it was like, get an email address that has your domain. It should say your something at yourdomain.com. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, did I pay for this? I gave it a 1-star review. I got to check to see if I paid. Because if I didn't pay, I'll take my 1-star away. If I paid for that, I'm leaving that. And I'm gonna write a review about how terrible that shit was. How dare you charge for that shit? It's fucking ridiculous. But like I said, here's my thing when it comes to that. When you start to see things lining up, when you start doing what you say you're going to do, you will start to get what you say you're going to have. That's pretty much how it goes. So be great. Do great things. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. The thing that you say you're going to do, just do that thing every time and watch what starts happening. It just magically starts happening. You don't have to even do nothing. Say, you know what? I'm going to get brolic. Hey, yeah, man, I just fell outside your door. I'm a personal trainer. And I actually decided that this week I'm going to give out 5 free lessons. You're going to be like, what the fuck? Bruh, it's going to be crazy. Listen, laws of attraction is a real thing. It really is. And I think it's insane. But listen, I'm working on, I'm going to get through that 4 agreements. I'll let y'all know how that book is. I definitely agree with what Joe Rogan was saying about the book. So, but I want to switch gears to this because last week I talked about, shout out to my man, Denver in Indiana. I woke up this morning to see a message from my friend Matt on Instagram. And he was sending me screenshots of people who have negative $50 billion in their account. Right? Let me repeat that because I want to make sure that you hear what I said. $50 billion negative in your account. Like, here's my thing about having a negative account, a negative anything, right? You could get by with like maybe $100 or fucking $1,000. Yo, bro, can you lend me $1,000 for now? And Chase will send you the money back. Who do you go to borrow $50 billion to clear your account so you could go and pay your bills? You have nobody. You can't go to multi-billion-dollar companies and ask them to lend you $50 billion. So to me, I think it's crazy because, like I said, if right now, right, my account was in the red and I'm like, damn, my account is $400 in the red. I could go to Melissa and be like, babe, can you just give me $400 right now? Chase did some weird shit where, they took off $400. Now I'm negative. I need to just replace so I don't get overdraft fees or nothing like that, right? bro, they gonna have so many overdraft fees. Oh my
That's what I was
god.
thinking too. Chase, they gonna do that.
They gonna take $50 billion from you and then charge you for not having money in your account to pay off your $1 subscription to Google subscription. What is it called? Google Cloud Services, bro. Netflix about to. Oh my god, they about to have so much. That's so crazy. But this ties into the whole Doge thing, right? My man's, like I said, Matt been telling me about to be putting me on the game. What he was telling me is that Doge, and another, and Bitcoin. He was saying that Bitcoin should not even be at $60,000. He was like, that's way too high for what it's worth, right? So I'm like, yo, can you explain this to me? He said, look, these companies have been betting against a company to fail. That company is not failing, so they're losing a lot of money. So they've been pumping up or buying a bunch of Bitcoin, buying a bunch of Doge, right? To make the price go up. Then when everybody else goes, oh my God, you can make money in Bitcoin and Doge, right? Let me buy some money too. Everybody starts putting money in. So now what they do is they go, oh, bet. Now the price is going to be higher. So now I can sell off my stocks, right? And get the money from it. But here's the thing. Once you sell your stock, the stock now loses value, right? That makes the stock go down. They can change the price of a stock by inputting or buying or selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of that stock. People can't really do that, right? So he was showing me the chart. I'll put a chart on the screen, right? He was saying that when Bitcoin and Doge go, what was it? I think he said when they go up, GameStop does whatever the reverse of those things are. So if GameStop is going higher, right? They are usually, it's because they are selling their Dogecoin stock and they're selling their Bitcoin stock to pay for the loss that they're getting because GameStop is going higher. Remember, if GameStop goes higher, they lose money. If GameStop goes lower, they make money. GameStop's not going lower. It's going higher. Now, here's the one thing I want to touch on with that, right? Because he was putting me on the game about AMC. AMC right now is going bonkers. Price is going crazy. My man's Denver said that he went from $12 to $77 in a short amount of time. Like in a couple of days, his money went up crazy, right? I don't know what the percentage is on that, but it's probably 12, 24, 36, 48. That's a lot of money. That's like, it got to be a couple 100%, almost 1,000%, I'm thinking, right? So I'm like, yo, what's going on with AMC? He was like, listen, AMC is the same thing that Doge and Bitcoin is. They just didn't sell out of it yet. They're still pumping it up so that they can sell out. Everybody starts to buy into it. And I'm like, where? He's like, listen, they already did it to Bitcoin, already did it to Doge. Those prices are dropping crazy, like off a cliff crazy. Like I'm talking about if it was at 75 cents like a month ago, it's probably at like, honestly, she might be at like 15 cents right now. Like I haven't checked, but it might be like 15 cents. And Bitcoin was at $60,000. That's just at like $30,000, right? So things is getting kind of crazy over there in the crypto world. And this is one of the reasons why. Because people like Citadel and whatever are doing these things, right? He was telling me that Chase has a vested interest in the company that are shorting GameStop, the company that are betting against GameStop. If they do bad, Chase does bad. So Chase has to cover their losses, which is why this magic $50 billion number came up. I read that this is what I read, that people think $50 billion is the maximum amount of money you can transfer in and out of your account at Chase. So it might be more money that they lost at $50 billion, but they had to just make it appear so they can, or take out of somebody's account so they can then pay off whatever loss they have with GameStop, right? So I was thinking about it and I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy. I'm like, if that's really going down, I'm like, yo, bro, what do you think the play is? He said, listen, here's the play. He said GameStop is the real one that's being that has the short squeeze. I think that's what it's called, right? I'm learning lingo. Buy, hodl, buy the dip, hodl it, diamond hands. I'm learning all the to the moon, skyrocket. I learn all the little lingo, right? And that one is the real one that they're trying to put up and fake other companies to do better, to then go in and make money for that. Let me rephrase that. They are trying to make money in all these other pumped up stocks that they're pumping up to pay off their real loss, which will be in GameStop, because they don't have control over that stock. Because if they were to buy more GameStop, they would lose money. They need to sell GameStop. They need to go down. They don't want to buy more of that shit. But that's that. And then it was one more thing about that he said. He was saying something along the lines of they're getting a new CEO. Oh, that GameStop is going to have their own cryptocurrency. So I don't know what that means, but I'm definitely going to be tuned in to see what happens with that. Because does that mean that everybody can start buying a cryptocurrency and it's going to be like real valuable? I don't know. Keep, stay tuned in with that. The last thing for life update, can you scroll down? The last thing for life update, right, is allowing people to be happy, right? This is something that I myself have battled with for the majority of my life, right? Because I think that I have a hero complex, and I'm actually going to look into that one now. I'm going to look into that some more, because what I remember about the hero complex is you have the need to want to save people, right? That's me, trying to save a hoe. And that's been my, like, I always want to just help people. I'm like, I gotta help you. But the problem with that is I will help people that don't ask for help. I will also help people that are enabled or do worse when I do help them. And it's crazy. And then I get mad for them not doing the thing that I'm telling them to do to help them. And I think it's a vicious cycle of toxicity that makes it hard for me to function properly, right? What I mean by that is I'll have an emotional interest attached to somebody else's well-being. I'm like, I want you to be great. I want you to be better. I want you to be amazing. So if I can help you do that, I'm going to do that, right? But I would do so at my own cost, at my own, what's the word I'm looking for? At my own detriment, huh? At my own expense, right? So recently, two things have been brought to my attention. The first thing brought to my attention is that I called Melissa cheating, and she don't know I caught cheating. It's the first time that I'm saying it here on the podcast. She doesn't know. And I went through her phone last night while she was sleeping, and I found out that she was sending nude. No, I'm playing. Oh, that's a lie. I found out two things recently, right? I found out that somebody that I care very deeply about, very, very deeply about, has gotten vaccinated. And when I think about it, it hurts, right? Because I stand strongly against that, like very, very strongly against it. And I really believe that it's doing more harm than good. I think that there's some type of ulterior motive behind it. And I don't like that it's now affecting the people that I love, right? And I mean in terms of they feel like they are so afraid of what's happening, they want to get vaccinated. And I don't like that, because it leaves me in a situation where morally I strongly disagree with what a person is doing, but it's not a negative thing. They're not affecting anybody negatively, right? So then I have to look at myself and I have to go, if this is what makes that person feel good, right? This makes them feel secure. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel happy. It makes them feel free to be able to go places and do things that they want to do. Should I hold that against them? And I don't think I should. And honestly, I think that the best thing to do is to let it go. It's just to be like, it is what it is. Because they're not going to change. They're not going to change what they're doing or what they're thinking about just because I said so, right? I'm not a doctor. I don't create vaccines. I don't create cures. I'm not a super genius, right? So I'm a regular person that I just feel like this is wrong. And I don't think you should do it. So that's not enough reason for somebody to make life decisions based off what I feel, right? So this has taught me that, listen, Donovan, certain things make certain people happy, and you can't change that. There's literally nothing I can do about that, whether I agree or disagree, whether I'm right or wrong. I can't change what makes somebody else happy, and I shouldn't try to. So that's something that I've learned and that I have kind of adopted. Is like, look, if you want to do this to make yourself happy, by all means, go ahead and do what makes you happy. Right now, a second thing is very similar to this. Another person that's very close to me is talking to a guy, right, who I have repeatedly said that I think is not the right guy for them. I don't think he's a good person to deal with. And we have gone back and forth about this. And it's been brought to my attention that they are talking again. And this is, mind you, after multiple times they have told me that they will not talk to this person anymore, right? Now, I normally get annoyed by this because I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? I go, why? Why would you do this? You know this has hurt you. Why would you do this, right? And like I said before, I think this comes to my hero complex. I think it comes down to the fact that I always want to help people. I always want to feel like I always want to help people. And I think the reason for that is because if I remember correctly, you could, if I'm wrong, let me know. The hero complex derives from not feeling like you had someone to help you when you were younger. So now you don't want anybody else to be in that situation. So you want to protect everyone. And I think that's what I suffer from. I can't necessarily pinpoint the time that I felt like that I didn't have somebody there for me. The only time I can think about was when my dad drove off on me and I chased after the car. That's the only time when I was probably like 4 or 5 that I can remember a time in my head where I go, this was a time that I wanted help, or I wanted something I didn't get it in that sense. So I'm going to look more into it, but I think that's the reason why I want to always help and save people. So she's talking to this guy again. I'm just like, why? I don't understand it. It hurts. Like, it hurts me. I'm not involved in this relationship. I'm not with the guy. I'm not with her. I'm like, why does this affect me so much? Why do I get angry by it? And I'm like, because I have this attachment to wanting to help her become better. So because of that, I have realized, like, okay, if this is what makes her happy, because she's on her own journey, as is everybody else. We are all doing our own thing in this world. And I actually like the way this guy put it. He said that we are different points on the same consciousness, something along those lines. So pretty much that just means that we're all connected, and that's just your perspective. That's what you want to go through. That's what you want to deal with. Then that's your journey to deal with on your side. That's not for me to do anything about that, because I've dated crazy girls. I've been in bad situations. I've done things that are not good, but that made me who I am today. So all I have to do is just go, okay, just try to be there for that person. That's my goal. And just try to be supportive of the things that just be there. Not even be support, just be there. Because I don't support it, but I support you, but that's the thing that you are doing. And it's like, hey, what can I say? That's what you want to do. I still love you, both of you, very, very much. And I just want you guys to be happy. That's all I'm saying. But that's been my philosophy. So I'm going to move on to the next segment of this podcast. That will be episode playback. I listened to the episode last week. I have to find my AirPod. I can't find it, and I think that's going to really suffer. It's going to make the podcast suffer until I find it. We have to buy another one. I have an Amex card now. I got money. What happened?
Business.
Podcast is a business. Money. I'm rich. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm rich, bitch. It's from Dave Chappelle. Talking to somebody. Talking to the camera. Okay. So I don't want you to talking to you. All right. So, I think that there was a pause that was too long for screen time last week, right? I feel like that screen time has to be more fluid, and I think today I did a good job of it. I also think that I don't put enough charisma and energy into screen time before. I think today I did a very good job of it. I think I explained it well. I think I was able to make it seem. I mean, I was able to make it. What's that word? Starts with an A. Appeal is another word too. But I was able to make it appealing, right? To make that people want to go, okay, I'm gonna check my phone. Cause I feel like if I heard it, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna check my phone. I would check my phone right now and see what it's about. So I think that's something too, because before in the last previous weeks, what I was doing for the most part was just reading it, going over it. All right, here's my screen time, guys. Here's my thing. I didn't really give any story as to why I was doing it. I didn't explain how it affected me. I just was doing it. And I think when you add the story to whatever you're doing, it's easier for people to internalize it, to be able to see themselves there, to be able to understand what you're saying when they can see it through a story. I also am now going to change how I say Donovan's questions. I always kind of had an issue with saying philosophical, also because I'm dyslexic and I can't really say words properly. So philosophical was fucking me up every week. So now, just removed it, right? And I'm thinking I'm gonna do something else. I just kind of let it there. I think I said what I said today. I think I said to get your opinion on it. I think that's what I said, right? So I think that's better. That's better than philosophical question. It was funny. It was cute. But I think that, we are growing. This is chapter 2 of this story. We're getting better every week. Who knows? Next week I might hire somebody to edit the podcast. Ooh, surprises. I'm lying. I'm broke. So I'm not going to do that. I looked it up though. It's expensive. Can't afford that shit. Also, Melissa was wrong again. Okay? Here's why she was wrong again. Because she thinks she right. She not. So tell both of the cameras. Both of y'all. I be getting into bed after I eat. Right? Now, why would I turn all the lights off in the house if I'm going to get in bed after I eat to let my stomach rest, to get out the bed and clean up? You want to answer that? You want to answer? Oh, you babysitting. Oh, now you babysitting. All right, see? I just want to say. I was thinking about that. I'm like, the other day I was like, wait a minute. How often do I be like, I was sitting here like full, like, damn, I should go lay in the bed. And I'm like, I would do that a lot. And he'd be like, oh, if you're the last one in the bed, you gotta turn the lights off. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta ask some people about this.
After you put the plates away, you should turn the lights off.
What if I get in the bed after I sit down and eat?
You just said get up again to do that. So just make sure you turn the lights off.
But that's my point. But you said once you get in the bed, that was what you said. So I just want to point that out there. Put that out, the fact that when I lay in the bed, it does not mean I'm going to sleep. I also think Melissa was very funny talking about with semantics, talking about being up and being awake is two different things. I'm like, what are you saying right now? I listen back to the podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Also, I definitely think my articulation skills terrible, right? Everything I was saying was this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing. I don't have where's my vocabulary? Every word is thing.
All the time.
What?
All the time.
Terrible. It's awful. My vocabulary skills have dropped down to the depths of the earth, and I have 0 words to use other than this, thing, that, they, them. That's it. All I got is pronouns. I can't use no other word but thing. Yo, this thing, man. Very this, very that. Super. Terrible. I'm working on my because my vocabulary. I used to keep a word bank in my phone. I don't even know. If I look at my phone right now, I probably couldn't even just read the words. Fucking shit's so bad. So, but that's what I learned from watching that. I'm like, damn, Donovan, you sound like an idiot. You sound like an idiot arguing, which is like you look at you, looking like a fool, looking like a fool. So, I think one thing I got to work on too, because I feel like getting the podcast to be better, I kind of didn't know if I wanted to do this or not, but I think that every topic in in the life update should have beginning, middle, and end. I think that before, a lot of time they were like a middle, 2 middles, and then a beginning after the middle and no end, and just a transition into the next thing. It was terrible. Like, it was like, oh my God. So you would listen to it, not know what I'm talking about no more, kind of zone out and be like, okay, I think I heard what he said. What, you talking about cars now? How we get here? Wait, what happened to the lap? And then you all fucked up. So I think that if I can weave in the beginning, middle, and end into the story as I'm telling it, it'll be easy to follow. Also, if I transition by saying I'm transitioning to the next I don't want to say topic, but topic in the life update, I think that also helps people to follow what I'm saying. That's what my mama told me about before. Shout out to her. She was saying that, and nephew too, I think she said that it's easy to follow the story or follow what I'm saying when I actually say, hey, next up is life update, and that kind of stuff, whatever. And then, the last thing was that there's a guy called Naval, maybe. I think he's a phenomenal individual, Naval. Oh, trying to get ear fatigue. And he had said something, or he had retweeted it, or one of his fan page retweeted it, that he had said. And it was, podcasts are meant to be heard while moving, and books are meant to be read while still. It was something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing because I couldn't find an exact quote. But I think that's so funny because last week I tried to listen to my podcast sitting down in a chair. Doesn't work. However, if I put my podcast on while I'm doing stuff, I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, this shit funny. Okay, this shit slapping. I'm like, okay, I'm about to go chill. I'm about to watch this shit. I be moving with my podcast on, right? Shit fire. Shit really fire at the end of the day. We have a podcast. I think it's fire. This shit just kind of cool. But I just realized that too. So, and now, when you're reading, you want to do while you sit still. So you probably should. I don't know if you read on a bus or a car. So yeah. But that is that. And next up, guys, is today's topics, right? So this is a topic that I always think about a lot, honestly, which is kind of funny. It's insecure people, insecure men, insecure women. What is insecurity? Where does it stem from? What does it cause? Right? And I think one of the roots of insecurity, I think, is wanting to be seen. I think that's the root of insecurity. I think wanting to be heard, feeling like you don't have power, and not only feel like you don't have power, but then because you feel like you don't have power, you now want to have power over somebody else, right? And for me, my opinion about insecure versus confident people is I feel as though confident people don't care. They just exist. Right? They have their morals and their ethics, and they do what they say they're going to do, and that's it. Now, the reason why I think that insecure people run the world is because insecure people are always afraid that somebody is going to take something from them. They're afraid that somebody is going to be better than them or bigger than them. And they're always trying to fight people from doing that before it ever happens. Nobody could be worried about them, but they are always thinking like, damn, they out to get me. Somebody trying to get me. Oh no, he looked at me funny. Oh my God, right? So if you multiply this kind of feeling, right? And it's always funny to me too. If you were to build a city from scratch, there's nobody in the world. You have to build up systems. You have to build up laws and regulations and just things like that, right? There goes that thing word again. You build up those infrastructures. Ooh, I chose that set of things. And you realize that people have to abide by the laws that you put into place, right? So I was thinking about one of those examples, right? Think about war. They always say how America and the US is always trying to start wars with people, right? Now, I think that the reason that is because they always feel like they're going to be attacked by somebody else, right? This is an insecurity on a larger scale, a huge scale, right? If you boil it down to a fight, I think the most confident person is great at defending themselves and not having to fight back. It's just, listen, I'm strong enough to defend myself, right? I think that confident people do not want control. They don't want power. They just want to be able to exist. And I feel like because of that, the most confident people who are, listen, I was going to say are in jail. Like the real people, what's that word? Not respectable. What would you call somebody that stands by their word?
I would say it has to do with integrity.
Yes. That's what I want to say. I think the people with the most integrity are in jail because they are saying, listen, I will stand by what I say regardless of the consequences. If that ends me up in jail, then so be it, right? But you will not do X, Y, and Z to me. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're gonna put me in jail, you can give me the chair. If you try to eat my food off my plate, I will kill you. There is no that is the line. That is it. Do not take food off of my plate. I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna insult you. I'm not gonna try and do anything. I'm not gonna try to fuck your wife. Nothing. All I'm asking for you is to not eat the food off my plate. If you do, I will kill you. Right? Now, that person gets killed because they don't listen. Right? Now, what kind of person would go and take from a person who is not bothering them, who has already said, hey, I will kill you if you take from me, right? Only a person that, one, is insecure because they feel like, no, you have power over me by telling me I can't eat that food, right? Or they feel like, you know what? I want to show him that I'm powerful and I'm more powerful than him, right? Or let's say a hypothetical situation. Somebody was around and they felt like you got pressed. You felt bad that somebody else saw him say that to you, and now you go, damn, I gotta now show off and I gotta go and take his food. Now this happens on multiple different scales across the board for anything, right? I think that if you would ever put those two people in a room, if you ever put the person of high integrity in a room with a person who's very insecure, the insecure person will always try and overpower that person, the confident person, right? Because they will always feel like they're being attacked. The confident person can say, "Hey, how you doing?" And the insecure person will go, "Damn, why he said it like that? Fuck, is he looking at me too long? Why he staring at me like that? Does he want to fight me?" Nah, he wants to fight me. He said, "How are you doing?" But he didn't say like, "Good morning," though. He wants to fight. And this is what happens in the insecure person's mind. This is how it operates, right? And then you have the confident person who's like, "Oh, there's a person in the room with me. I'm gonna say hello." So now, as I was saying earlier, that kind of mindset, once it multiplies, imagine that same person, because that same person just wants to control everything because they don't want a situation where they have to be around people of integrity. The person of integrity just wants to exist in their own world. So you have a situation where you have people who are insecure, right? They start building up infrastructures. They make laws, right? They build systems in place. One thing I've noticed is that, and there's a guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name, that he said the only reason that civilizations were built is to stop people from killing each other. That's the only reason. That is literally the only reason why we created civilizations. I believe the only reason why a person will kill another person is due to insecurity. You feel like this person, yeah. Question: do you think insecurity is innate? No. Do you think it's something that you're born with or something that you have to acquire over time? Like, you think some people are born insecure?
I think that once you start to interact with your surroundings, I think that's when that kind of comes in. Where it's like, okay, you notice that guys with a certain height tends to get females, and females don't talk to you, and it's like, well, it must be because of my height. But it's like you've never seen anyone. You never seen the girls that the guys, the girls that the guys. You never seen the guys that the girl talked to that is your height, but maybe you don't know how to form your sentences correctly or whatever. So you become insecure because of what you want. I think it's kind of like an entitlement thing, where it's like whatever it is that you want and you don't have it, you feel like either it's unattainable, so you resent the people that have what you want, or you don't want to put the work in to get it, and you rather just try to exert your power over the other people because to show that they're not better than you, even though they have what you want.
Yeah, I think that I agree 100% that the insecurity is something that happens over time. And I think that if everybody was the same height, right? And then one day, like you said, some guy became really tall, really handsome, really strong, and he started getting all the things. He started getting all the women, all the money, all the adulation from all the guys around him. Other guys would feel like I want that. Why does he get to have that over me? Like the girl that I wanted is talking to him now. And then I think what happens is it forms insecurity within that person. And then that person then goes, okay, I have to now overcompensate for what I lack in. And that overcompensation is what I deem to be as insecurity. I think that if you exist in your own space, if you exist in being confident, then you don't look to overpower anybody else. You look to just exist in your own space as long as what they do does not encroach on your space. All you want to do is defend. Is defend your own space. And that's why I said I think insecure people are the ones who make the most decisions in the world because they feel like they need to have that power. Because like I said, you put those people, if you were to put a lot of the people that we deem to be the most powerful men with the most integrity or integral men in the world, that the men who run the world without all of the kingdom built around them, whether that be their houses, their money, the network that they have, if those things are not built around them and you put them in a room with a person who's like, listen, I don't cheat on my wife. I love my kids. I take care of my kids. I don't lie. I, help women, whatever the case might be. I'm pretty sure that the majority, if not all of the high powered men would feel very uncomfortable around what we in the hood community know as real people. Like not gangster, just real people. Like I think a lot of people feel very uncomfortable around that. So like I said, I'm about to wrap this up. I think that the moral of the story is 1, be great. 2, be confident. And if you see people who are very tall, I think I'm gonna say this. And if anybody disagrees, let me know. People who are tall, handsome, and good looking, who have everything that they want, they don't look to take from other people because they're just existing. And I think that people who are insecure would have to learn how to do that. But here's the thing about being insecure. Here's the thing about being insecure. This is why it's like a double-edged sword in a sense, right? The more insecure you are, the more successful you will be in the world. Let that sink in. The more insecure you are, the more successful you will be in the world. The reason why is because you want to prove to everybody that you are better than what they think you are. You don't want to exist in what you exist in. You want to prove, listen, I need to show people that I am strong. I am smart. I am resilient. I know how to make this. I know how to build that. That's what people want to do. And like, if you think about actors, if you think about billionaires, in my opinion, CEOs, and you think about, could be athletes too. The list is very long. So, but you guys know how we get down on the podcast. I think today.
Tell them why you are filming today.
Oh, facts. Listen, I know how we get down on the podcast. I just be saying shit, don't be doing it. So, we are filming on a Monday, which never ever happens, unless it was like week 4 or some shit, right? Melissa's brother has graduated, yes, and he is now going to be stepping into the real world, the big world, right? And Melissa is going there tomorrow to baking the cake to bring over there, and she is kind of throwing a party, like an event for him. She loves to do these things. And for me, listen, here's what I learned, right? Melissa is I think it makes her feel very good. Would that be true? Would you feel very happy when you get to like make stuff and throw events for people. I mean, I don't feel it. So that's why I'm asking, how do you feel when you do those things? Because it's not something I notice you like to do it all the time. I know it's like you always like to like do something for people when it's a birthday or a something. Are you uncomfortable with me asking a question? I know you start rubbing your hands, and I feel like you weren't doing that before I asked you that.
Because the way that you asked it made it seem like you think that I do it for myself.
I don't know. Do you?
I don't really think so. I do. I feel happy seeing their faces because I don't know how, well, for my family in particular, like my mom, my grandma, my brothers and stuff, they don't really have parties and stuff like that often, but they kind of used to at one point. So it's just like, I know that it would be something that they would enjoy. And I feel like I'm in the position now where I can kind of do something. And I like throwing the little party things because it's not as expensive as other things, but they still get to kind of experience it. They get to walk in and see the decorations and see the cake and see that somebody thought about them.
Listen, I don't think anything's wrong with what you do. I don't think that. I think that it's... They say wherever you go, there you are. And I feel like even when you have no money, you will still try to buy people stuff for their birthday or their graduation or an event, Mother's Day, whatever the thing is, you try to do that. I'm not that way. I'm not that way at all. So for me, I admire your tenacity and your consistency to do that, because like I said, I know that when you have money, you're going to do this on a bigger scale.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Right.
It's going to be crazy.
Right. So I just find it to me, it's like, it's just something that I respect about you. And it's funny. It reminds me of Neffy, now I think about it, because that's what she does. She's very similar to that in that way, where it's like, you want to show people that they matter and that you care. And I think that people need to have people like that in their life, because I know that the effect it has from Neffy to me, I know how it affects me. I know it positively affects me. So I know that even if maybe it's me or maybe your brothers or your mom, whoever you're doing it for, maybe they may not always give you the response that you want, but I'm pretty sure that everybody that you do those things for, it means something to them. And like I said, to me, it's something very respectable, because I think it takes a lot of, I could call it strength, to be able to give somebody something that's small with not knowing how they will react to it. Does that make sense? Because you might give them like, hey, I don't have anything, but I have a napkin and I wrote on a napkin, your favorite color or something. I got you a favorite color napkin, something small. And they go, wow, like, I just want to show you that I care.
I think for me, because I know that I don't have as much funds as I'd like, I try to make whatever thing it is that I'm giving as meaningful as possible. So, like, with Ariel, we had went out one time. I think she happened to be leaving the city the same time I was leaving the city, and we both got snacks. And I saw what kind of snack she likes. Oh, Lord, doing too much. What are you doing? I saw what kind of snack she likes. So I made sure to put that in a bag when I gave her like a little birthday gift bag. And today we went to the anime store to look for books, because Jermaine did hint to me that he wanted a manga, but I'm like, I don't know what manga to get him. Like, what? He didn't tell me a specific one. He said anyone. And that was for his birthday, and I didn't give it to him. I kind of just gave him money so he could buy what he wants. But I felt like, graduation is a big thing. So, I like to give things that I think they would enjoy. The person that I hate getting gifts for is my mom.
Why is that?
Because I feel like I kind of exhausted the things that she would use in a sense. Like I would get her mugs or like maybe like a robe or slippers, but it's how many mugs and robes and slippers she gonna get. And grandma's a bit easier because she likes scents, lotions and stuff. My mom don't be so it be irking my soul because I'll give the gift and then I'll see it in the house and like, you're not gonna use it. You're not gonna. She's like, it's mine. Let me do what I want with it. I'm like, no, you gotta use it. But yeah.
So, let's see. That's episode 66, guys. That was a good episode. I think that was a very good episode. I think I was able to. It was good. I enjoyed that episode very much. If you have not already, you can check us out on social media. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and you have the phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. You guys know the vibe. We have multiple projects. Okay, we're doing a lot on this side. All right, we have the food project, we have the clothing project, we have the music project, we have the fitness project, we have the sports project, and we have the Bamboo Project podcast, which you just finished listening to right now. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up. Oh, you know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.